worksheet looks like, and I'm going to go over sort of making it more specific. So it does divide it, right? It divides it into these different elements. I just tried to make it more, less broad, I guess, less general. So for example, so in your suggestion world, you want to have a 3-sentence response. That's the minimum. You can always write more. You want to have at least one suggestion. So you want to make yourself come up with some suggestion. It's way too easy for us just to be like, oh, that section's perfect. They don't need to do anything. That, to me, that always signals that people just want to, it's just easier to not say anything. So try to make some sort of suggestion, whether they could use a different piece of evidence or more evidence, or whether they need to explain the quote more, whether the topic sentence has because in it, and so on. So anyway, one suggestion, you want to quote directly from their essay when you're making your suggestion. You want to use an example. That's sort of the similar thing when you're discussing it. And then grammar and language according to, so is professional and correct. So here's so in each section, so the section of structure and unity, right? Over here, I've listed some suggestions. Actually, I don't know. I think I'm going to post this version so people can access this. Yours is blank, right? Yours is just blank. And I wanted to go ahead and give some suggestions. So I will post my version of this exact one in each of the groups. So you can download it and use it. Excellent. I love that little thing. That's funny. Because it's trying to help you for each section, right? So possible suggestions, you could improve the thesis. It's more focused or broad, or using the word because, the strength of the connection between the conclusion and the thesis, right? Because the conclusion is trying to restate what the thesis was, so there is a connection there. Organization, you're looking at a couple of things, right? Are the points being made in order? Like, is there a logical order? Does it go from strongest argument to weakest argument, weakest argument to strongest argument? That's just something to pay attention to and decide which effect you want, right? The idea of a writing class is trying to figure out the effect that you want to achieve with writing, and then knowing how to do that, right? Making yourself be able to do that. So this is a little bit about looking at your, but this, again, you're looking at their art essay, right? And you're trying to be like, all right, is there an order to it? Or if anything, that can help you decide whether maybe a paragraph is out of place, right? That can help them with the organization. So that's the organization of the essay overall. Are there too many quotes? Are the quotes too long? Are there places where paraphrasing would be better than quoting? Okay. Now let me see if these are still. Okay, so that's my video for flow and transitions. Oh, right, I kept forgetting where we were. So for each of these, I guess I tried to make, my goal was to do this, right? Have very brief, short videos on each thing. So this is writing great conclusions, very brief. So they all should be very short videos that help you explain what you want to look at, right? The worksheet itself, all on the left side here tells you what it is. I just, like I separated it out because the one that they give everybody is just very, I don't know, broad. So here's view counter argument. Here's view rhetorical appeals, because you're looking at the technique and so on. So I will make sure, it looks like these are all still working. They just had, okay. And there's the rhetorical appeals, just the ways of persuading. Okay. So let me do this at the moment. So that's the essay. I mean, that's the week. So the peer review really is the main point, and they set aside a whole week for this because they want you to give as much in-depth feedback as you can. And then you'll have and during this week, I'm also going over your essay and grading it and making suggestions. And so By the end of the week, you should have your peer review from your peer with a bunch of stuff on it, suggestions and so on, and then you'll have all of my comments that I make on your essay in Canvas, and then basically week 7 is revision time, where you're going through, and we talk a lot about revising and so on. Okay, so I'm gonna stop that here.